Now we're a developed community. So your codes change. The DNA of that changes from an emphasis of continuing to develop to preserving, to enhancing, to modernizing what you have, as opposed to just continually creating more. That is a major shift in the fundamental organization of these codes going forward. So the efforts are on preserving the existing buildings and having new development occur within adaptive reuse.
It seems like all of the development that's happening on the main line is in Ardmore. I'm not a zoning expert. I don't know how or why exactly that seems to be. But all the giant buildings, all the small houses that used to be on Montgomery that are being turned into apartment buildings, it's all happening right here. Like one of the ladies who spoke earlier, I walk a lot, and all I see is building after building going up. It's incredible the amount that's happened in the past 2 or 3 years, and to think that that's going to be expedited or increased is scary. We seem to get the brunt of it. Every spare spot. The building that went up in, I guess, what used to be called the Partyland parking lot is a horror show. It's amazing to me that was allowed to happen. I don't know who could look at that and say that's progress. It's so out of character, so out of keeping with the size and scale of our neighborhood. It's a monstrosity.
Well, the new code takes that historic preservation and just spreads it and integrates it throughout it. The DNA of the new code is historic preservation. It really promotes adaptive reuse and modernization of existing stock. We heard all throughout before the Great Recession about teardowns, rebuilds, changes to the community, new development not being consistent with the mass scale and form of what's around it. This code addresses all of those issues and really puts a primacy on what's here.
Even if you took down the 5-story to a 4-story, it would still be big, and a 3-story apartment would still be pretty big. This is the view from the street side on Union Avenue. I'm sure the people in Union Avenue are pretty tired of that, and it's not even finished yet. These are the buildings that are on Writers Ferry Road, and they are pretty monstrous as well. And they're just going up. It's going to impact everything, schools, driving. When Cross Properties said they had all their community going to have smaller housing, smaller apartments, and just 1 or 2 people living there. And then when they advertise, they say it's a great place to bring your kids and have the advantage of the Lower Merion school systems.
This code addresses all of those issues and really puts a primacy on what's here, what's the good things that we want to keep. And it does that by focusing on form.
In Ballackinwood, we are inundated with apartment buildings and traffic. I heard the same thing about the traffic studies, that they don't show any increased traffic. And I also find that hard to believe. I think your community members are telling you that they feel overrun by the development. I know you guys get that. In a way, you get that. But I am concerned that the new zoning doesn't go far enough.
What we saw over the last decade was the application of that tool very successfully. I mean, there were areas of the community that needed revitalization. Zoning can work. You can use zoning to bring in areas that you want to see change.
But what we didn't bargain for is to be the metropolitan center in the suburbs for the 70,000 residents of Lower Merion Township. That won't fly for us in our neighborhood.
And what we're seeing is a lot more families with children coming in. We're seeing people coming back in from the city, people coming in with different lifestyles, people saying, well, if I was going to have a common area, it would be my commercial area. It would be a place I can have brunch. It would be a place I can buy some bread. We're not talking about having nightclubs in our commercial areas. We're not talking about having these things go to 2 o'clock in the morning. We're talking about a basic downtown.
I think one of the problems is the township planner, Chris, philosophically believes that Ardmore should be urbanized and it should be a, quote, hot area.